Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a broad spectrum reading. I think you speak in broad terms, so you need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit for any reason, that's okay. Nothing is broken or wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. Basically, take what you need and leave the rest. This is originally created for Wednesday, the 4th of December, but it's not solely set for that date. I believe readings can be timeless, and so use it whenever you're seeing it. If you're seeing it on a different date and it makes sense, by all means, utilize the reading. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily videos. In there, some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing my readings. And what decks I'm using, how to contact me via social media for a private reading. Know that I will never contact you to solicit you for a reading. So if anybody reaches out to you and says they're me, it's not. And easy ways to support the channel. You can do that by hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing, leaving a question or comment, or sharing the video out. I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning reading, and that populates in the lower left-hand corner. So if you hear me talking about cards that you don't see here, please check out that video because that is the energy that underpins this reading. So let's see what the cards want us to know. Okay, so for the bottom of the deck, we have our Princess of Cups. She is our end of the week card in the Sunday reading, so I think that's a little bit of a precursor to opening our mind and our heart to anything that is available to us out there, thinking outside of the box, being a bit of a dreamer, easing ourselves into things, certainly emotionally, and allowing that sort of childlike exuberance and open mind to be our guide. The card for the day is the Hanged Man. Interesting, we see him. He is Major Arcana. He is also Piscean energy, which was all throughout the Sunday reading. We saw a lot of Cups energy in the Sunday reading. We also saw the Moon yesterday, which is associated with Pisces. The High Priestess is the midweek card, so we have a double down of Major Arcana Piscean energy. The Moon, because yesterday we saw the Moon looks to be in Gemini, but I really feel like this is sort of a precursor or a calling to our own spiritual understanding and awareness of how things are. The Hanged Man oftentimes is not a card of action. I'm going to say that. He's usually suspended in animation. He's sort of, it could for some of you feel like an energy of being stuck. I don't want to say trapped, but like the situation may not feel like it's changing or we don't know what to do with the situation. But the thing with the Hanged Man is it's always about sort of sitting where we're at in the present moment and awaiting the spiritual enlightenment we need or the awareness that we need so that we can free ourselves and move forward. What I love about this Hanged Man is that from his spiritual enlightenment that he's waiting on or that he's gaining by sitting in the present moment and being aware of everything, he's gaining that and it's beaming out and creating roots into this fruitful tree that the very thing that he's sort of trapped in or stuck by or perceives it through maybe his 3D mind as being stuck by actually bears fruit, actually is this living lesson or situation, relationship, whichever way you're dealing with this in, that is teaching us something, that is grounding us, that is giving us actual strength and awareness. And we have the High Priestess underneath this, which is also Piscean energy, and she's all about spiritual knowledge, wisdom, and secrets. So there could be a major awakening for some of you this week or during this time that although it might feel slightly uncomfortable or restrictive in some way, or we feel, I don't want to say at a loss or stuck, but we feel like we have to face it, we have to look at it dead on, we're going to gain some sort of awareness, intelligence, insight from this situation. And once we have that through patience and harmonizing ourselves within the situation, we can then like release it and move forward or go on to our next steps, and also to the growth and the fruit that's being born from this tree, right? So there is an awareness of that. And that page of cups that we saw at the bottom of the deck, it reminds us to keep an open mind, stay with our emotions, learn from our emotions, study them. How are we feeling? Some of our spiritual intuition or our awareness or this learning, this enlightenment could be involved in experiencing those emotions in new ways, right? That open us up to other possibilities or other routes of growth, abundance, opportunity, right? Now, let's look at the absolute affirmation card. It is, I put my best self forward. And I love that we wear this on our head, this cap, right? It's kind of gives me this indication of our crown chakra, our brain, that kind of a thing. It says, you have the power to do incredible things, so why not take advantage of that? All of your preparation is paying off, and it's time you step into your greatness. Don't be afraid to show the wonderful things you have to offer. The wonderful things here to me are in the tree here, the fruit, and also in the root system and the enlightenment that comes from the hanged man. So there is an opportunity here. We may not necessarily see it quite as the opportunity that it is, but it does help us to put our best self, our best awareness, our best intelligence forward to kind of work within the situation. The other interesting thing is the next card in this deck is, and it kind of keys into this tree, so I'm going to share it, is my personal growth is unlimited. So we have that sort of tree reference of, we might feel, wait, where is this going? Why is this not working out? Why do I not understand this? What is the issue? Why can't I move forward with this? There will be a time and a place where a secret can be revealed to us from our internal wisdom that we're just kind of maybe waiting on, but it will produce personal growth. That personal growth will be unlimited, and we can put our best self forward even amidst situations where we might feel restricted or caught or unsure. The moment here is to rest in who we are and what we know and our experience, our own spiritual intelligence, and allow that to be our guide. Allow that to sort of open us up and enlighten us. And then once we have that enlightenment, we can then move forward. We don't, with this high priestess underneath this, we don't need to prove that enlightenment or our rightness to anyone or justify it by any sort of ruler or measurement outside of ourselves. It's all within, essentially. Very much internal with these two cards, and in a major way, with these being major arcana, it's in a very big, profound way, the understanding that we're gaining during this time. Now, let's look at the clarifiers. First card out is the Page of Swords. This is about, being inquisitive, being an investigator, maybe investigating our feelings around a situation or what we're feeling spiritually, right? But also acclimating it to our minds, our thought, the way we communicate, and using that as our what's the word I'm looking for? Like our kind of leading thought or our leading step forward, even though it might feel new or unknown. That would be the page, right? The page is also oftentimes, they bring with them messages, right, of newness and learning, but also this idea of learning in the moment, not necessarily always having the full plan, but being aware that we're learning it as we go. And so there could be an acclimation between not only the emotions that we saw all throughout the Sunday reading and how we're feeling about a situation, but also the spiritual awareness that we're gleaning, using that from a logical place to start taking next steps and moving forward. The next card is the Chariot, which is Cancerian energy. We did see that in the Moon card yesterday. This, to me, indicates once we're up out of that tree, we're ready to move forward with a confidence, with a clarity, with a compassion. That compassion can be towards others, but it's most probably towards ourselves during this time. That should lead us forward with a kind of clarity, directness, and this would be more of an emotional slash spiritual clarity that we are probably processing and acclimating to our brain and our thoughts and our communications through this page as we move forward, trusting our intuition, trusting our emotions. Um, I have to say, this chariot feels a bit like a powerhouse, like it's just going to barrel through. Once we're out of this tree, it's like we're moving forward because that's the confidence of the high priestess underneath this. Once we have this awareness within ourselves of what our truth is, and truth is the grounding stone for this week, we then get to start to put that truth to good action or to good work and to move forward from a place of nurturing and compassion, even if that's only towards ourselves. And then the last card is the Nine of Wands. Wands is about spirit and the element of fire, taking action and movement also, but the Nine of Wands to me is about personal completion within a situation or a relationship, a job, a career, and understanding that where things may have gone wrong or where we may have felt stuck, like through this hangman, we can take those experiences and utilize them to build this boundary or this fence, this protection, this awareness, this intelligence within us that serves us so that we can move forward smarter, not harder, right? We know that we've been maybe through sort of a tough experience, or maybe we've struggled to find the answer. But now that we have the answer, we're able to move forward with a sort of sense of purpose with the chariot, but also with a spiritual awareness of how to not necessarily repeat the same mistakes over again. I hope that makes sense. Now let's go to the grounding stone and see what the grounding stone has for us. And the grounding stone today is courage. We've been seeing this a lot lately. I feel like, whoops, courage is just coming in here and messing everything up. I think the courage is to dig down deep into who we are and what we know, and to maybe even switch our truths, change our communication, change our thoughts, and then take action in forward movement, believing in ourselves and what we know to be true spiritually before anything else that is proposed to us or given to us from any outside sources. The courage also to dig deep into, like we have the high priestess underneath affecting all of this. The courage is also to believe and trust in that information or that truth, and allow that truth, even if it doesn't fully make, no, I don't want to say it doesn't fully make sense, but even if we're sort of adapting to it or getting used to having it in our arsenal, using that and being brave enough to trust that over anything else that's being given to us from like outside influences or sources of information. Does that make sense? And the reason why I say that too is that this card says I put my best self forward. In other words, we're listening to ourselves and our own indication rather than outside. And that's where maybe this courage is what we're going to want to ground in. Courage to follow the truth of whatever that is for us that we've learned that's brought us this enlightenment that both the high priestess and the hanged man would represent. It's going to be deeply spiritual truth and probably deeply emotional truth, but either way it's going to serve us in pursuing and moving towards what it is that we want, and having the courageousness and the strength to do so, even if we're in the process of learning how to acclimate it or adapt it, transmute it into how we think now. And it could be a new way of thinking or perceiving a situation that we otherwise didn't see this way previously. I hope that makes sense, guys. That is your reading for the day. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a question or comment, and definitely share the video out. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this energy transforms and changes. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.